Oof. Oof. Let's see. Well, hello, guys. Well, it has been a while since I've. It's been quite a long time since I went live on this channel, and yeah, this is a. Um. Yeah, hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry about that. Just need to fix something. One of my friends is having trouble entering, but hopefully he'll get here. Yeah. Oops. Thanks, Florida Rail fan. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks, Hamza. Yeah, it's been a while since I've gone live, cause yeah, and yeah, but yeah, it's been a long time since I've used this channel to go live, cause with all the crazy stuff that I've been through and stuff, and it's just yeah, at the stage. Um,
Hi, Jimmy.
hey, how's it going?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
All right. Happy
Yeah,
birthday, Jimmy.
thanks, Harper Dobney. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've gone live on my channel because with all the crazy stuff that has happened that I've gone through and stuff, I just been taking a break, from social media, just been focusing on my life and my happiness and all that, and so far, and it has worked very well, so I'm pretty happy with how
Hi,
things.
Hamza. He said hi to me in the chat.
Yeah, but yeah, I just been focusing on my life and just doing my own thing and my happiness and all that stuff. And yeah, and it's been going pretty well. I've been being happy and positive about life and all that stuff, and it has been pretty good for me and stuff, and it has improved my mental health because I remember last year how things started taking a tide and all that stuff for me with all the craziness and all that. But yeah, and also I do have some a special announcement. I am considering putting my videos back to public, but I'm not going to be showing the ones with my face and all that stuff, just so that I don't get framed and all that stuff. But just like the videos with me, you know, vacuuming and fire alarms and all that stuff, where it doesn't have my face being shown. But yeah, so that's what I'm probably. Oops, I wonder what happened. So that's what I'm probably, thinking about. Probably maybe a few days after, probably a few days later, I'll probably just start to put my videos back to public. So
Well, that was my mistake. Sorry about that.
that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say I am considering putting my videos back to public and you know but yeah, but I'm not gonna be showing myself talking and stuff. Like usually, I think honestly, from now on, when I do videos about me, kind of venting something out and talking something important, I think I'll just have my camera pointed towards like some random things of mine, like my vacuums or my fire alarms, or just have the face being or have the camera being pointed towards the ground and all that stuff. But yeah.
Personally, I don't even think rant videos are even worth it anymore.
Yeah, I honestly don't really feel like doing rant videos anymore. I mean, I'll still do videos about explaining something important just for people to be aware of and all that stuff, like just to give someone
Autism awareness and all that,
yeah, like autism awareness.
which is by far one of my favorite times of the year because I have it myself, but I don't make a video on it.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, Hamza. Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, I will say that I am definitely proud of having autism because it's just the way I am and the way I was born with, and people are just gonna learn how to accept that. But yeah.
Can't do anything about it. I was born with it, and I was diagnosed with it very early. I can't help it, so and a lot of people mistake it for thinking that it makes you dumb, which that's not the case. The only
Yeah,
thing that's really bad is like the severe ones, like the people that can't even eat or talk and breathe, which is like the severe cases, which those are really sad. But
yeah, it's really sad, and I feel bad for people who are born with that condition where they can't even walk, and that's why people should be respectful towards autistic people. Like, I mean, I may have autism myself, but I'm mostly able to do the things that regular people can do, like walking, running, and I mean, I can only run for a short period of time because I think I get stomach cramp easily, maybe because I'm out of shape or something like that. But yeah, but I'm able to like do like chores and all that stuff, like cleaning, vacuuming, especially since I enjoy vacuuming. Which, by the way, um, I did got a new vacuum for a birthday gift, which I'm gonna be showing you guys here in a minute. But I'm also I've also been getting into vacuums a lot lately and stuff. I've just been kind of interested in, because, yeah, I've just been interested in vacuums a lot lately and stuff, even though it's kind of a taking a break. But I'm starting to get back into vacuuming and all that stuff. So I'll do some vacuuming videos quite often sometime. But yeah,
um,
I did get a new vacuum for my birthday gift, and I'm also saving up to get another one that's also definitely a sapphire blue. So yeah.
yeah, and then the vacuum that you showed me for $1,000.
Yeah, yeah. There was like a vacuum at my local vacuum store that cost like $1,500. That was a bagged up item. Like, hell no, I'm not paying that much. Like,
Just
you
for
know,
a vacuum, I don't think it's worth it.
like honestly, I think the limit amount of expensive price for a vacuum should be like maybe $500 in my opinion. Because honestly, paying $1,000 or more is just honestly not even worth it when it comes to buying a vacuum. Like, yeah, there's no way I'm paying $1,000 for a vacuum.
Someone asked an interesting question in the chat. Uh, Harper asked that.
If you do end up publishing your old videos, will you go live more often? I'm not sure. I personally think that going live quite often can get boring sometimes. I mean, usually I honestly would probably go live for like maybe a special occasions, but I personally would say like maybe once a month or two, maybe once or twice a month would be probably better in my opinion. But yeah, but just depends. But most of the time, I'm just gonna be posting videos, of my vacuuming and file them and all that stuff. But yeah,
To be fair, that's what I do, but the only time I truly go live is for severe weather events, and we're waiting for that. So,
yeah. I mean, I might go. I mean, I may go live if there's like a very strong thunderstorm coming. I want to get some good footage of it. But yeah, I might do that sometimes. But yeah,
yeah, and me and a couple other folks are gonna be going live for the hurricane stuff. That's something to go live for. That's what we're mainly waiting for. So, which, yeah, and hurricane season's starting here very soon as well.
yeah, yeah. I did saw that there's going to be a bit even more above average hurricane season. So that's something that's be what to be keeping an eye on.
Yeah, and the Carolinas and other places, they're also up more percentage this year than last year, too. So, it's just better to watch out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, uh,
Well, it's not a Kirby, but it's from a brand called Ricard, which is an American brand, which is an American made vacuum and stuff. But I do have a Ricard that's a Ricard Vibrant R20S that I've had since early 2018, which I paid like $500 for. But yeah,
hmm.
yeah. Hello there, um the Model 2T. How you doing? It's been a while, but yeah.
Jimmy, you got any other alarms you got planned except rare ones?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I kind of want to get another P1224 MC, so I kind of want to get another one just so I have an extra, and maybe I'll get a P2430 because sometimes even when I set my classics to 75 candela because of how big the strobe is, sometimes I even have it to 30. But honestly, 30 candela when it comes to phylum strobes is probably my most preference, but sometimes I may set it to 75. But yeah.
The P1224MC is my favorite classic model, so I love
Yeah.
the P1224MC. Plus, it's multi-canal, but I leave all my strobes at 15, so yeah. I just leave them at 15 because why not?
Yeah. Yeah,
Everything's overpriced. Everything
yeah,
is.
yeah. Sometimes I hate
Even
that.
alarms. I remember when alarms used to be like what, like $10 or 15, and now for like a typical your average typical common fire alarm, it's like $50 now. It's kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's honestly just it's ridiculous.
I prefer wall mount devices than ceiling mount. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, same here. I mean, some seal mount devices like the classics and the advanced and L series, I do like those a lot. But most of the time, I prefer wall mounts because I think that's what I kind of grew up seeing. That's what I mostly see in buildings and stuff. But yeah, I do like some ceiling mounts, but wall mounts I mostly prefer them.
To be fair, the wall mount classic literally looks like a spectral alert, but the ceiling mount classic kind of looks like your stereotypical. It just looks like a ceiling mount device. When I look at it, sometimes I don't like. You can tell it's a classic by like the design, but just in general, it just looks like just a ceiling mount device rather than an actual like series of an alarm. Like the wall mount classic, the strobe is on the bottom, the horn is on the top, and has a three fire lettering, like two on the sides and one on the front. And the design of it, it looks like the word for spectral alert. The wall mount really matches well more than a ceiling mount. But of course, they made ceiling mounts for that installation. But just in my opinion, I think the wall mount is more better, appreciative and uh,
Yeah.
a representation of what a spectral alert is. Just what I personally believe.
Which speaking of fire alarms, I do want to show you guys something. So for the fire alarm test, it's not going to be one fire alarm going off, but it's also going to be two, which I got another one mounted onto the wall that's across from my room. So I
Where's
have
your Nest detector? That's the black color one.
it's still in my room, so it's still in my
Oh, there it is. I
room.
didn't
So
see
yeah,
that.
so yeah, I was yeah. My dad was able to help me put another fish the wires through the wall through the attic, so now I have two fire alarms that are hooked up into the wall. So I have two fire alarms in my wall system.
I Can you hear me? I think the internet just dropped for a second.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. The only other alarm I have planned for right now is I kind of want to get an S1224 MC. I I've bought a couple of those, and one thing I hate about System Sensor that they did with the newer, I guess you could call them third gen classics, the multi candelas, they make the fire lettering go down farther, and it just irritates me. So I found a S1224 MC, which is the remote strobe spectral alert classic. I really want one of those, and it has the fire lettering that's actually done properly. Because I like how like it's like at the angle where the grill is. Well, some of them, especially the newer ones, they have the fire lettering that goes all the way down to the strobe almost, and it's really weird. It's irritating, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider ceiling mounting an alarm?
I mean, I don't know about seal mounting. I mean, maybe I could try someday, but yeah, I agree, Alex. We should be grateful that we're able to collect them as a hobby and stuff. But yeah,
I don't have any ceiling mount devices on my system, but I mean, I have a completely different system. But another alarm that I like a lot is probably besides the classic, is my number one. I like the advanced, but honestly, that's another system sensor device. And if I'd have to choose another alarm, I'd probably say the Wheelock AS, and I mean the wall mount, because I kind of grew up with that alarm, and I have a AS now. I got a new one that's like kind of a special one, and I really like it. And I like the Wheelock NS. I
yeah,
like the NS a lot too. NS is one of my other favorites.
but yeah, I would say yeah, I do also like wheel but like the seal mount AS, I personally like seal mount alarms that are more circular and with a more circular alarms than a square or rectangle alarms like the AS or the seal mount simplex true alerts or the all that stuff. 'Cause
Okay, the ceiling mount true alerts are just ridiculous to me. They literally look like 4903s, and that's what throws it off. I don't like that. They could have at least had a slightly different design. I mean, with the Truler ESs, yeah, they have a different design now for the ceiling mount ones, but they still look odd. Especially the speaker strobes. Oh my gosh, I can't even stand those. But the yeah, the True Alert ceiling mounts, because I really wanted a True Alert ceiling mount on my system, but I wish they designed one that was like a circular one, and like it had the exact same design of a wall mount, but just on a ceiling, and then they edited, the strobe reflector to make it 360, for the strobe output. I just wish they did that, but they never did that, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, Hamza. I think that the cinematic alarms though, like the AS and the 4903s and all that stuff and the integrities are just honestly ridiculous looking. Like the cinematic alarms should be more circled, like the classic, the advanced and L series.
Well, yeah, because you can see them better too. But
Yeah, plus it has like a rounder um dome shaped strobe lens, so it has a better 360.
the only ceiling mount device I like, as far as anything, except the ceiling mount classic. I mean, I like the ceiling mount AS. It's all right. I see them quite often here, but I prefer the wall mount AS because that's what I think of an AS. Like when I think of here's a little funny thing. When I think of a fire alarm, I have a picture in my head. When I think of a Spectral or Classic, I think of the wall mount unit because that's what we're so used to, right? When I think of a AS, I think of the wall mount. When I think of a Commander, I think about the Gentex Commander 3, not the Commander 1 or the Commander 2 or 4. Now, the Commander 4 is a good device, but I prefer the Commander 3. I prefer wall mount than ceiling mount. Plus, I kind of can't really put ceiling mount stuff up anymore anyway because our ceiling is just traditionally, the way it's made. It's not really designed for that, and I just don't want to do that. Wall is better. So,
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, I can.
Plus, another thing, I really like how I can, with my system, I made it where I made the pull station go like straight up like an angle with the walnut device like perfectly center with each other, which just makes it even look better for wall mount devices, with pull stations. So yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, shoot, I was gonna say, even like sometimes I put my serial mount L series on the wall and stuff. I mean, even though it's not really like matched. I mean, designed for that, but yeah, I personally, sometimes I even put it on a wall, even though it's designed for serial mounts. But yeah,
um
yeah, we're not gonna
um
really talk about it and stuff. But yeah, I don't really care, of what. But yeah, I'm not gonna really talk about it. But yeah.
what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I was muted.
I was just replying to the comment of Harper Domi, but yeah, I'm not gonna really mention about that because it's all in the past. I'm just too busy.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because you know, and also one thing I'm gonna say is that 2025 for me is going a lot better. I've had lots of good things happen to me and stuff, and the people that I've encountered in real life when I showed them my firearms were very nice, and they thought it was very cool, and that's what I like. And that just makes me happy, when I encounter people like that.
2025 is going a great year for me. 2024 was mid. It was all right, I guess. 2023 was terrible, and 2022. 2021 was the start of negativity for me because that's kind of when I first, because 2019, if y'all don't know about my history of fire alarms, well, I actually was into fire alarms way before I had a YouTube channel. I've been into alarms since I was very little. And, I'm 18 years old now, and I was born 2007. I'd say I started alarms, I think, in 2011 or 2012, and I started going from there. And then 2019, I started seeing all these YouTube channels of alarms, and I was like, I want to share this hobby too and be a part of it. So, which I regret now. I'll tell you why. But,
Honestly, same here.
um,
I thought
yeah, like
fun.
2019 was when I first started my first ever YouTube channel, and I remember the name to this day. It was Fire Safety 1207, which unfortunately is not here no more. And that was the good old days because that was when I was completely by myself. However, I had another channel called the Simplex True Alert channel. I think that was the same channel actually, but just rebranded. Which that was also some of the good old days. But that's when I started getting into the community, and people were putting me into it. And being since I wasn't as mature as I was that time, I didn't know any better, and I didn't know the how to back off from that stuff. So I unfortunately got involved in it, and that's when all the negativity started from 2021 to 2024.
But yeah,
Oh, and uh, sorry, a loud motorcycle went by. That's why I muted. But I'm outside here because I don't have good service in the garage. But uh, that's basically how I started, and I kind of stopped alarms now. I kind of ended it because I'm just moving on with the hobby. The only alarms I'm probably keeping is like my Wheelock NS, my Wheelock AS, a couple pulse stations. Maybe like I'm keeping my ceiling mount classic, my wall mount. Definitely an advance because I really like the advance, and I still see them a lot to this day. I'm getting a new Spectre Alert strobe, the S1224MC, and I really don't know what else. I don't know if I'm going to keep my Genesis or Commander because I don't really truly like care about those anymore. I only care about like specific alarms at this point. And rare stuff I'm not even getting anymore because a lot of people have a problem with others getting rare crap and then they sell this bull crap. And honestly, I don't really care about rare stuff anymore to begin with. So I just moved on.
I mean,
I
I kind of
found,
want to start
yeah,
getting some red stuff and stuff, but yeah, and
I
yeah,
kind of moved on from alarms to begin with. So,
yeah.
but I wouldn't say the community of the hobby like truly pushed me away. Maybe a little bit, but what really made me just stop interest in alarms is just because I found other passions in life. I'm selling a bunch of my alarm stuff at the moment. I'm you know it's just not all good things must come to an end, and I'm not going to do it forever. So
Yeah.
it's really just jealousy. Have you started selling off alarms off? Yeah, I have already. In fact, I just listed. Actually, no, I didn't list it yet because I had to join Jimmy's stream, but I was in the process of listing a Simplex Chevron pull station and a Simplex ceiling mount strobe, the 4904, 9104, I believe it is, that half frosted one or whatever it is. But yeah, but yeah, it is just jealousy, but it kind of throws you off when you want to get rare stuff because of that. But I mean, I don't really care about that, but I just don't have the point in getting rare stuff anyway because, like I said, there's only like specific alarms I want, and I'm not getting that involved with them anymore. So, kind of, makes sense to just, if you don't want, if you're just going to get a rare alarm and you don't want it, what's the point in getting it?
Yeah. Sometimes when I cook, especially when I'm making myself cheeseburgers, I set off my smoke alarm, from the burnt, you know, you know, ground beef that I cook and stuff. But yeah, that does happen. Like, whenever I cook, it does create some smoke and it sets off the alarm. But yeah,
We had that happen, but a lot more worse. I think I sent it to Jimmy one time. We were cooking lasagna and garlic bread, and the garlic bread ended up getting burnt. Set off my whole simplex system. The true alert's going insane. Sneak peek, by the way, for system test. And then the true alarm sounder based smoke detector was on continuous, and it just was crazy in the house because I don't have just two horn strips. I have like I think six of them because I actually have two in the garage because I like the sound of alarms echoing in the garage, and I'm kind of following code, fire code, having the strobes, by exits and having, proper strobe output and all that. My system is
you
kind
know,
of code compliant, but that's what I wanted it to be because I wanted it to be realistic. I mean, for a house, you don't need it to be all requirements, but I just wanted to make it how I wanted it. So,
speaking of which, I'm also thinking about adding another fire alarm to the wall that's going to be connected from the one in the extra room. But I'm going to have it in my bathroom, and it's definitely going to be a remote strobe, which will be the system sensor S1224, which I'm going to be mounting that one in my bathroom.
wait, you have an S1224MC, right?
Yeah, I have a couple
Oh,
of 1224 MC. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna mount one of them into the wall of my bathroom. You know, just to
Can
make
I see them really quick? I'd like to see how the fire lettering is. I'm just curious what they look like.
sure. Let me get them.
And your P1224MC, because yeah, I need to see the sides. Let's.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see the fire lettering. You need to get really close.
That one is the file letter. That one's faded out, unfortunately. But
Oh, I want to see the strobe though. The side of it, like the fire lettering itself. Oh yeah, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, some of them have the fire lettering that go all the way down to the strobe, and it's so weird, and I hate it. I need to show you one time because they look kind of weird. It's like they whatever how they put the fire lettering on the even the box, even the spectral alert boxes, the new ones, they have the fire lettering all the way like halfway down to the strobe, the edge of it. It's weird.
yeah, but yeah, I'm thinking about hopefully by like maybe mid to later this year. Maybe my dad will help me put another file mounted into the wall of my bathroom. But I'm definitely gonna put a remote stroke because I don't want it to scare the crap out of me and stuff when for some reason it unexpectedly goes off. When it unexpectedly goes off when I'm taking a bathroom, it just scares the crap out of me.
Yeah, and also you're not really supposed to have orange strobes in bathrooms anyway. I've seen that before. One guy was arguing with me. I don't even know if it's really up to code or not, but either way, I think it's weird even having a horn strobe in a bathroom to begin with in a public building. But if it's allowed, it's allowed. Just if because I saw a Wheelock AS in one, and I'm like, oh gosh, is it on high volume? Probably. So you never know. Um,
I
Hams
mean,
asked me, did you go ahead, Jimmy?"
I was gonna say, I honestly think that horn strobes in bathrooms should be a violation because, like, if you were going to the bathroom peace and quiet, especially in a small confined bathroom, and that thing goes off, that can honestly cause damage to people's hearings, and yeah, that
That's what I said. Yeah, and one guy was arguing with me, and he's like, I don't think people can see the strobe flashing when they're using the bathroom. Well, I mean, you can obviously hear the alarms from like because the bathroom is connected to hallways or all that to another building. Of course, you can hear the alarms, but like it depends on how it's designed. I mean, not bathrooms might have ceiling mount devices or wall mount, and some of them can have like
I think
you know
I heard a seagull in the background.
yeah, that's freaking Florida for you. Like
See,
they could have they could have like so use strobes in different locations. So like I believe even if you are using the bathroom, yeah, you can see the strips go off. I think violation or not, it should be. And if it is, that's a good thing. But I don't know if it is. And I gotta answer Hamza's question here. Did you by chance sell a Gentex GOS or see? Yeah, I think you might have bought it from me. Yeah, I sold my GOS. I don't really want the GOS. I'm also selling my SHGs later.
yeah, I'm definitely
So
I'm definitely keeping the two GOSs I have. I still have them. I just keep them in boxes, but I'm definitely keeping them because I paid like $100 for them. But yeah, I honestly think that $100 for a fire alarm is just unless if it's like absolutely rare, but yeah, I honestly think that $100 for a fire alarm is just honestly kind of outrageous.
it's ridiculous, and that's why if you want expensive alarms, get Simplex stuff because that's why they call them simply expensive. Simplex is heavily overpriced. Oh, I mean the eBay sellers. However, I've gotten some really good deals on some of that stuff, so pretty cool. Luckily, my True Alerts that I have didn't cost that much. They were only like $14 a piece. They were used, but they're in good condition, and now they're back on a system because they used to be installed in a system, and now they're back on a separate system in my state now. I cleaned them up because I actually know how to clean alarms very well. In fact, I've actually taken apart alarms before, and I can actually clean it up very well. If it's like extremely like dusty and like if I see a lot of dust compacted into like where the horn is, the piezo, I know how to take apart alarms and I know how to do it carefully. And I be careful to not strip the screws and all that, and I can just clean it. So yeah, simply expensive. Yes, Hamza.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard before.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the way how I clean my lawns is I usually just vacuum them because, like, some of them do get dusty when they're just on my shelf and just sitting there. I use my dusting attachment on my vacuum, like
So
my.
that's why my GOS was pretty clean. Actually, I didn't even clean that GOS. I kept it like, I kept it in its own box and just preserved it. So that's what I do with some of my devices. Not all of them, but just a couple.
Same here, especially the ones that I like the most are kind of special, and I keep them in the box just to preserve them.
The only special device I have now in my collection that's most significant is probably my AS because my AS is kind of a. I'm not going to say it's rare because it's not, but it's a quite uncommon one. It's a multi-candela AS, which I believe those are the best ones, because they're multi-candela, and I prefer that than fixed. I mean, fixed is all right though, pretty much the same idea, but my AS is a second generation, so pretty cool. My NS is actually a first gen, but the jumpers are not on the back like some of them are. But oh yeah, Jimmy, have you heard of the Wheelock NS4, the four wire NS?
Oh yeah, I've heard of that, but I mean, I did have a wheel like NS that was ceiling mount, which that was honestly the first horn stroke violin I got during like early to mid
I
2022,
don't like those. I don't like the ceiling mount NS, but they are rare. But I don't like them.
and it was a high Kindle. It was an MCCH, which was a high.
Oh God, the one that goes to 115 to like 135 to 177. Oh God, that's
I don't
bright.
like the high Kindles because it gets too bright and stuff. And yeah, I prefer just a regular standard multi-Kindle. That way I can just keep it at 30. Usually even though they're multi-Kindle, but sometimes I treat them as they were fixed 30 because that's what my personal preference is. That way it's not too bright and not too dim.
I
So
prefer 15, and also it's easier on the strobe if it's at 15. Because if I'm not I mean, the higher the candela is, the more power it kind of takes, just slightly, and it uses up the xenon a little bit more, but doesn't really make that much of a difference. But also at higher candelas, the strobe can get warmer too, which I've noticed on some devices. But I just leave them at 30 or 15. And
yeah,
uh, oh, you sold your new unboxed US? No, it was used. It was used.
yeah.
I bought it a long time ago. I think I bought it 2 years ago.
Okay, I'm Harper. Thanks for joining. Yeah, thanks for joining, Harper. Yeah. But yeah, I would say that this year, 2025, is going a lot better. So, I mean, it's already like halfway over, which is honestly kind of crazy. It felt like it was yesterday that the new year started. I mean, there was some minor down things for me, but nothing compared to what I went through in 2024. So, but yeah.
I missed 2020. 2020 was all right. I mean, at the same time, 2020 was a nightmare because of you know what, but I'm not going to say it. But 2020 was like 2019 was the year that I actually truly miss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, what did you get for your birthday, Jimmy?
Well, I guess I'll show you the hold on a second.
Sorry for the loud vehicles, by the way, if you hear it. It's so annoying.
Sorry, I just sneezed. But yeah, I guess I'll show you the newest vacuum that I got for my birthday, which is hold on a second. I'm gonna, yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, so this right here is the newest vacuum in my collection. It's a Shark Stratos powered lift away dual clean. So it's another. So it's honestly my third dual clean, and it actually my fourth Shark vacuum that I've owned. I mean, the first Shark vacuum that I purchased in early 2017 is with my dad because I gave that one to him since he
Was that the one that I saw you made a video on or something recently?
um I don't know. But I did have a Shark rotated professional lift away that was white and a little bit of purple. But that was the first Shark vacuum that I got in early 2017. But I no longer have that with me. It's with my dad when he um moved to at his place with my stepmom because since he enjoys using that vacuum, he has to if he could have it, which he gave me some money for. Which yeah, so even though I loved using that vacuum, but I think honestly my dad needs it more than I do, so I just gave it to him.
Do you know how to fix vacuums?
Um, I I do know how to fix basic problems like for example like the vacuum starts to lose suction like just immediately throw it away, thinking that it's broken when they don't take the time to learn that that's what's causing it to do suction, like a clogged hose or a filter that needs to be cleaned or replaced. That's what people don't pay attention to.
Yeah,
So yeah, just yeah, because people assume that bagless vacuums, especially you just take the dirt out, you just take the canister and dump the dirt out, put it back in, it's fine. Which that's not always true. You know, there's a filter that needs to be cleaned or checked every 2 to 3 months, depends how often you use it. But yeah,
that's true. Sorry, I'm rummaging through my fire alarms here right now. Hold on. Just going through them really quick. While you're showing that, I guess I can go over the devices I'm keeping and just pretty much what my alarms. If all of you guys are curious.
I'm gonna be using a couple vacuums, like maybe 2 to 3 vacuums when I do my vacuuming near the end of my live stream before the file I'm testing. Which the first one I'll definitely be using is this one, which is the newest one. So yeah,
All right. You want to see my devices?
sure.
Hold on. Let me just pull some more out that I'm not keeping. All right. So this is pretty much all that I'm keeping here in my box. I don't have much anymore. I'm still gonna buy a couple, but not that much anymore. So this is pretty much my collection now. Can you see my camera?
Cool. Is that what you're keeping?
Yeah, so this is my P1224MC that has the fire lettering correct, because some of them have the fire lettering that goes all the way down there, but this one's done the proper way. Love the P1224MC. Here's my Wheelock NS first gen multi candela. Technically a second gen because the first gens actually have the jumpers there, but um, I'm keeping this as well because it looks really nice, and also considering that I've seen these in buildings and I grew up with them, I kind of like it a lot. Here's my Uncommon AS. Unfortunately, the fire lettering is slightly, damaged, but that's all right. Scratched up, but I don't really care about that. Very nice AS, like this device, and my Publix uses these.
I
Just
don't know what you mean by that, but I think, but I do have live commentary mode on just for safety reasons and all that stuff. But yeah, yeah.
uh, yes, I am Hamza. Yes, that's my eBay store. Yeah, I'm selling that stuff you just said. Here's my mass. I like the mass, and I like how it has the two little fire symbols on it, which is one thing that I really like about the mass. And also, it's just like the Spectral or Classic, where it has the fire lettering on the two sides.
Yeah, I kind of want to
And
get a mask. I mean, that's the type of mask that I honestly do like because it's got the two little flames symbols next to the fire line, which it gives it a better appearance. So,
representation of a fire alarm, yeah.
yeah.
And then here's my advance. Gotta like the advance. I'm not having a strobe one. I have a strobe, but I don't want to keep it. I prefer the horn strobe one, and I really like the advance. Mine has the fire lettering is slightly the newer, for some reason the newer advances, like the second gen ones, the fire lettering is a little bit less like the paint than it is on Jimmy's, but mine you can still see the fire lettering. And then now we go to my pole stations. Now before I show these, I am getting a BG8 because I really really like the BG8. But here's a pole station I really like, and these go exceptionally well with Spectral or Classics. In fact, I've actually seen one with these before. This is an AIP, though it's a lot of people would say it's the Edwards, but yeah, this is a rebranded. I got two BG12s, a Firelight. This is not a PDI, but this is the SSD. I got the ADT one. I want this because of the fire symbol, and I kind of like that. Again, it's like what the mass has. And then I have my FireTech RSGT bar. But yeah, that's about all I'm keeping, guys. That's about all my collection for you guys. Yep.
But yeah, I
I
honestly
mean,
like the second generation Advance because the first generation Advance had a raspier tone. I still like the first generation, but the second generation, I mean, the thing that's kind of hard is that it's hard to tell if the Advance is first or second generation. They look exactly the same. Very, very tell which one's which.
I do agree with you on that. However, there's another way to tell, and that's you can actually tell with what is it? There's a notch on the bottom. Mine doesn't have that, and I don't think yours does either. So,
Oh, another birthday gift I got is this another dragon stuffed animal. So, another dragon plushie on my bed. So, yep. My love for dragons still continues to go on. So, but yeah.
and yeah, I think that's about most of my collection, I guess. So it's about all I have, and I don't think that I don't think I'm gonna get many more alarms after this, though. So I'm just gonna get another classic, maybe a strobe, and then a BG8 because I really, really, really like the BG8. However, the FCI MS2 here, I might keep my FCI MS2 because one thing I like about the MS2 is the fact that it has fire lettering on the sides as well, which is cool. But yeah, I don't know yet though. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, bye, Hamza.
Yeah, thanks for joining, Hamza. It was, yeah.
See
Yeah,
you
I'll
later.
go live sometime soon, but no, not very rare. Um, um, but, but yeah. Oof.
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to go because we gotta finish what we were doing, and I'm also gonna be going on a scooter ride here in a few, just
Okay.
doing my own thing. But I want to say happy birthday to you, Jimmy. Enjoy your day. I know your birthday was yesterday, but
Yeah, thanks. It was pretty fun birthday. I had delicious cake and all that stuff, but it was fun.
yeah. All right. Well, enjoy yourself, Jimmy, and uh, hopefully I can join another live stream one of these days. But enjoy yourself. All right. Ciao.
Thanks. See ya.
Bye, Jimmy.
Bye. Cool. But I guess even though I usually do the vacuuming or the phylum test, an hour, but I guess I can go ahead and do it now. But yeah. But yeah, I don't know if my other friend will be able to join, but I'll wait and see. But yeah. Oof. Yeah. Oof. I'm gonna do this. I didn't know you can change that. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna keep it at blue because, yeah, I'm gonna keep it like that. Yeah, so far this is going a pretty good live stream, so haven't had any interruptions. Ignorance, but yeah. Oof. I guess I'll go ahead and get the vacuum ready. So, but yeah, let me clean some stuff up first because my room's a little cluttery. So, I'll be back in a minute. Oof. Oof. So, I need to turn this camera around. Sorry. Well, so, ooh. So this is so so this is the vacuum that I'm gonna be using, which is the newest one. The Shark Strata powered lift away, which is a birthday gift I got. Still looking at this is the Shark Stratus powered lift away dual clean power thing. So here we go. welcome back, Harper. Uh, yeah, that was my shot of that. So yeah, it's really powerful. It's a little bit loud. I mean, but still not like super noisy. I mean, even though it's not too loud, I still like to wear earplugs just so I can, you know, that way it's a little more muffled. But yeah, yeah. I'm gonna move it to another part of it. So, so I guess the next vacuum I'll be using this one. Be like, no, I guess I'll be using this one again for another part of the room. And after that, uh, yeah. So I'll be using my blue Ricard Vibrance on 20, my favorite bagged up one. It doesn't swivel, unfortunately, but that's okay. Um, shut my face. Um, you did miss the first part of the vacuuming, but that's okay. You can still rewatch it. Um, again when I post this, but yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do another part. Which will be the final vacuuming for the stream before the final. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, that was the vacuuming of this live stream. So yeah, I used my new Shark um gosh, I can't remember it. My new Shark dual clean, my third one, and I used this Record Vitamins R20S, which unfortunately I accidentally stuck up a screw, but that's okay. I can try to get in there and reach it and try to get it out of the bag, even though it may require getting dirty, but that's okay. But yeah, at least it wasn't a direct vacuum where it goes through the fan and then into the bag. And that's the thing you want to be careful that you don't suck up really hard, solid debris like coins, screws, Legos, because that can damage the motor fan if you accidentally vacuum those. Yeah, I could try to do that sometime, but I could try doing that. I don't know if I can try it real quick. Let me see if I could real quick. I mean, it's on the vacuum right now, but I don't know if it'll stay on there. But yeah, I'm gonna turn it on now. If I'm stay, I have to like put some tape over something. But yeah, I don't want to really smush it. Yeah, I'm gonna try this now. See, I have to pocket knife. But yeah, it's on the vacuum hood right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. best I can do. So I know it's kind of sloppy, but I'll try figuring that out. Yeah, but anyways, I guess it's about time to do the fire alarm system test. So yeah, let me get my tripod real quick. Yeah, these are earplugs that I wear when I test my fire alarms or vacuums, and just simply just pop them into your ears, and I can just reuse them. But of course, every now and then you should probably wash these with soap and water. But yeah, so okay. So I got a delay. So I had to close some windows because I had some windows open. But yeah, so this is going to be the fire alarm system test. So yeah, so I have two fire alarms hooked up, mounted onto the wall. So the first is going to be the. Let me turn off the light. So first is going to be the spatula classic. I'm going to leave it here for like a minute or two or so, and then I'm going to put it into the other room in the guest room, which will be the advanced. So I have two fire alarms mounted onto the wall. Anyways, let's do this. So, three, two, one, go. so that concludes the phylum test. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good live stream. So yeah. So oh cool. That's pretty cool, but yeah, but yeah, that was the phylum test. I hope you guys enjoyed that. So that concludes this this 26th birthday live stream of mine. So yeah, and and also I do appreciate you guys wishing me happy birthday in the comments and giving me shout outs and all that stuff. I really do appreciate that. So yeah, so I guess that's it for this live stream. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good live stream. So yeah, so no trouble. So yeah, so anyways, I guess that's it for this video. So I guess that's it for this live stream. So thank you guys for watching, and I will be sometime maybe like in the next few days or so, I might start to post my videos back to public and stuff. But yeah, but I'm not gonna be posting videos of me showing my face talking and all that stuff. But yeah, but just like the vacuuming and fire alarm and all that stuff. But yeah, so anyways, thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys have a wonderful evening. So yeah, so stay tuned for more.